All right, boys and girls, we are heading live.
Who brought the brains?
Put it away.
Brains? Brains? Oh, wait.
Are you tired of those boring, predictable gifts? Every holiday season, it's the same old thing. A pair of socks, that terrible holiday sweater, or how about that fruitcake? Oh, if I get another fruitcake, I'm gonna tear into someone's esophagus. Anyways, why not try something bold this holiday season? And nothing screams festive like a zombie Santa with your coffee. Bold, robust, delicious. Deadly Grounds coffee. It's coffee to die for and zombie approved. Why not get a little deadly this holiday season?
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Back to the Tomb of the Terrible, where we watch terrible movies and pass the pain on to you. I am your Uncle Necro, and with me tonight are my Owlite besties here. To my, well, I guess, left is Delphine.
Hello, everybody.
Then Catty Quarter from myself here is Friday and apparently Chaos now.
He's
And
whenever I
then-
decide to call him.
Yeah. And then one of our fantastic newbies here, Ron.
And special guest, Miss Ori, little spoiled princess here.
Aren't they all, though? They deserve it. So tonight we watched the blockbuster, Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies. Not to be mistaken for Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer. No, this is a totally different thing. Totally different ripoff. Didn't rip off the other one, even though it came out around the same time. So
Yeah. And they didn't study their history.
nope. Do they really, though?
Who needs history anyway?
Man, I'm a
Yeah.
history buff.
It's
I
not like
it.
we're doomed to repeat it or something.
Just
So,
like my history teacher used to say, those who fail history are doomed to repeat it.
do we have a picture of the poster?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So, while the Civil War rages on, President Abraham Lincoln must undertake an even more daunting task, destroying the Confederate undead. Bum, bum, bum. So, this one, if you're wondering about historical context, takes place about a few days before he actually went to deliver the Gettysburg Address. And along the way to traveling to Gettysburg, he stops by a fort that was apparently overrun by zombies, alongside a whole bunch of special agents, I guess soldiers that would, and I quote, sometimes they said they would follow them into hell and back. Yada yada yada. They fight zombies.
And I'm cursing myself because before I watched it, when I was writing up the thing, because I actually made the event before I watched the movie, I was like, I almost wrote down, personally, I would have chosen Teddy Roosevelt to fight zombies, if anyone. And I doomed it because retroactively in time, they decided to put a young Teddy Roosevelt into the movie, and it made me sad.
Hmm.
Like, I
Well,
was like, oh, at least they got him in. But
I wanted to open up with saying that yes, this is an asylum mockbuster of the aforementioned Abraham Lincoln vampire hunter, and it looks the part, meaning that it's low budget, but it's a shiny low budget kind of movie. And the Asylum did not disappoint with that. I am kind of a fan of the Asylum mockbusters because, just, low budget goodness. I don't know what everybody else's take on the whole thing is, but
they were fairly well costumed, I thought.
yeah, yeah,
I
pretty
mean,
well costumed. You could tell that the beards and mustaches were very much fake, but
yeah.
the zombie makeup and effects were actually pretty good.
Except that they cut off so you could see the line of makeup.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen way, way worse.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, and like you mentioned, like Del mentioned, that the script does play fast and loose with the actual history. Young Theodore Roosevelt joins the zombie hunting party, does indeed walk softly and carry a big stick. Though, as
He
you
would have
pointed
been
out before, he would have been 5. Yeah.
Yeah. Right before the Gettysburg Address, he would have been 5. And Pat Garrett also makes an appearance, though he would have been 13. And I realized that they recruited him young, but he had a hell of a stash for a 13-year-old.
Yes.
Like, dude was manly, is what I'm saying. And I will not get the Battle Hymn of the Republic as a horror song out of my head for a good long while now. Even though it wasn't just exactly the Battle Hymn of the Republic, it was just inching onto it. It was like enough, and you're like, and then there was another one, and you're like, that's another. Which one's that one? But yeah, using patriotic, marching tunes and stuff as horror was a new one for me. I will give it that. I've never thought of those in horror terms before, and now I have that in my head.
Mm-hmm. Now,
Thank you.
my favorite parts were a lot of dialogue related, as far as the bad writing. I mean, at one point, Lincoln actually says, "Emancipate this."
Yeah, that part didn't make sense to me.
Didn't
but-
make sense, but I stood up and applauded. I'm like, yes, as you may have noticed, like down beneath my name.
Emancipate this, yes.
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 So,
And we have Friday here was kind enough to grab us a couple screenshots. There is Lincoln in action
oh yeah.
coming around. He's got this great scythe, and he just splattering people around.
It's a switchblade scythe, which I
Yeah.
thought was awesome.
I stole that from Bloodborne.
Well, did you expect them to really have original ideas for this?
No, I really
Just
didn't.
gonna,
Now,
I'm kind of get. Oh wait, that was. Yeah, well, there's a splattering there.
and I do want to point out that yes, Booth is in this movie too.
Yeah, I'd like to get into that for a second.
Okie dokie.
I'd like the movie in and of itself for what it is. Now, I am not one of those Civil War recreationalists or reenactors like a lot of people out there. So they may have a better grasp on the whole history aspect of it, what's accurate, what is not. Bill Oberst, that plays the part of Abraham Lincoln, he looks the part. I mean, I can totally see him as Abraham Lincoln. I don't want to give anything away as far as spoilers go, but I feel like this is a backstory on the reason why Lincoln was assassinated in the first place. I feel like this whole movie is just setting up why that is.
And Oberst has played him multiple times on stage and on screen, so he's got Lincoln down.
There you go.
He's been more than typecast, and he loves it. He loves being Lincoln, so he gets to do that. And yeah,
The only Lincoln to survive several theaters.
Yeah.
I like that. But yeah, throughout the quotes that they have throughout the movie, like I was mentioning this to these guys. I had to learn the Gettysburg Address for a theater thing back in '93, and so I'm used to like the cadence that I would deliver it in, and hearing just the little bits and pieces and being like, seriously, we're getting the inspiration. He's going to a battlefield where 50,000 people died, and we're getting the inspiration for the Gettysburg Address through the zombie fighting. Okay, I guess that works.
Well, I tend to get inspirations from very odd places myself.
Yeah, I didn't. It was interesting how it was very corny how many lines of history were thrown out and used as like one-liners in this movie,
Right.
which like it depressed me, but I'm me.
Right.
So I have issues with a lot of things that everybody else has really come to terms with, that or doesn't have to come to terms with. You guys are just like, oh look, that happened, and I'm just like, but that's not historically accurate. And I get that it's a movie and that it's a bad movie, but did they really have to say that? I liked that line. Now I'm never going to think of it the same.
Right.
Well, I think that's where you're going to get your two factions of audience: the one that like the historical accuracy, and the ones that like quirky writing, like that. As a writer, the people that are writing this movie at Asylum, they're going to go, "Oh, that's a good line. Oh, that's a good line." And to hell with historical accuracy. What's going to make a good, funny one-liner that's going to draw the audience in? So it's sort of, I guess, it's kind of a balancing act to play to both sides.
Really, I gotta mention though that if anybody's watching movies for historical accuracy, you got to understand that even the most historically accurate movie that they make isn't going to be completely historically accurate.
Yeah, I know, and do you remember the time when I got called out for taking Velocipaster too seriously?
Right.
Like they didn't understand my sarcasm. And sorry, I am a bit tired tonight.
Right.
But I guess I can give them that they had to have studied a bit because they had to look up quotes from Abraham Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt so that they could be sure to like put them in the movie. So so maybe it was an educational experience for them.
Now, keep in mind, I understand the pedantic reasoning behind a lot of people just watching this just to point out the errors in there, because it's kind of fun to do that, However, I did know somebody. I used to room with somebody in Omaha who claimed up and down that he knew everything about the JFK assassination because he watched the movie JFK.
Wow.
Okay.
Which, of course, as we all know, is what you would call nothing but factual information.
So yeah.
That's like saying I know everything about archaeology because I watched Indiana Jones.
Right.
Yeah.
I know all about archaeology because I watched Jurassic Park.
I was there, man.
Ironically, I know a lot about the Doors because of the movie The Doors, but not because of the movie, but because I got an interest in them after watching the movie and started reading. And anyway, so zombies.
Yeah. So okay, I'm starting to liven up a little bit. I'm getting past the like I was a zombie when we started this. I'm getting better.
I'm not dead.
I did like the switchblade
Flesh
sniper.
wound.
That was but you can't have a flesh wound around zombies. You can't. Bad things happen when you have flesh wounds around zombies.
They also got the whole
Bad things.
Did you get hit with their blood? Because that does it too.
Yeah.
I gotta give them that because that's one thing about zombies that never really made zombie movies in general that really never made sense. 90% of the zombie movies out there, the only way it can be passed along is if you're either bitten or scratched. Well, my logic dictates if it can be passed on by biting or scratching, the blood's gonna carry it as well. And you got people running through massive zombies with chainsaws, being covered head to toe in blood, and they're perfectly fine.
Good point. Yeah.
There's
I
only
think
two movies I've ever seen that have actually kind of covered the blood transmission. One was this, and two was the 28 days.
Yeah. I'm not even going to touch on whether or not I consider 28 Days to be a zombie
I
movie.
don't either, but it at least touched on the subject.
Yeah, I did like that. What I did have kind of an issue was this is kind of picky, I know, considering the movie we watched, but the accents. And now I dwell in the Midwest, which, Nebraska, where our accent has been accused of being just like the land, flat and goes on forever. I'm not up on my Southern dialects, and I realize that Friday in Chaos, you guys dwell in Texas, which is a different kind of Southern. But how is the accuracy going? Because I was not buying it.
I'm from Tennessee, lived in Georgia and Alabama. It sucked.
Okay. Okay, so you at least have an idea of the different, regional. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the accents between here and there, they sucked at it.
So
I did applaud their effort though with the. I loved how the fort was being held by 4 people, and and they were worried about all the sick men, like the one that they had chained up down in the dungeon, and such. Like,
right.
You just shot them men. You gotta. The men are sick. They need help. They're killing everyone and eating them in front of you.
Yeah, but they're just sick. You don't understand.
And he's stuck by. Like, he's stuck by that until almost the very end, and then we had the hero redemption moment.
They're sick and need help, but you 4 have been there alone for how many days and hadn't tried to help any of them because you're perfectly healthy and not dead yet?
Yeah. I don't know.
But they need help. Why didn't you help them?
Well, my theory is the war was starting to wind down at this point. So they may have been without food or.
They did say that they did not have a lot of resources. They had been there for a while, did not have a lot of resources, and none of them were doctors. They wouldn't have known how to help them anyway.
Right.
Yeah. But when you have this many of them, they're just sick. It's okay.
Oh, they just need a hug.
Yeah, but here's the general going in for his redemption scene. No spoilers or anything like that.
So
I wouldn't do that to you.
Oh, I would spoil you so hard.
Ain't this what this series is about? Is spoiling the ever living hell out of it.
We are watching this so you don't have to, or if you'd like to. And this was told to me. Friday had told me this before I watched it, and we kind of talked about this before the other show. It's all blending together. That this movie is a lot longer than it feels a lot longer than it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually a lot longer than most of the others, in all actuality.
And I had to sit through Lamageddon.
I think my husband keeps disappearing.
Yes, he does.
I'll fix
It's
that.
kind of cool.
I'm magic.
Oof. Oh. Okay. But yeah, this
Oof, no more.
see what I did was I watched this. I remember actually renting the physical DVD way back in the day, like 2012, and watching it. When I rewatched it, it's on Tubi, mind you. However, it's also on YouTube in full. So I got to watch it in 1.5 speed. That is the way to watch
do that.
the movie.
Sorcery.
Yes.
Just can't do it.
I am a wizard, Harry. I am
I
a
wish I
Harry.
could. You are Dumbledore.
So, when everybody first watched this, what was their initial reaction to it?
Lisa.
It took forever.
Ron, you're oddly quiet.
I really have no issue with this movie. It's not the worst zombie movie that I've seen, and I think it's worth at least one watch, even if you're watching this so that you don't have to watch it. I think they did a good job trying to keep at least the environment or the scenes and the costumes somewhat historically accurate, even if the time period or events in the time period were not quite historically accurate or the dialogue wasn't historically accurate. I think they still try to do a good job with that. This was filmed in Savannah, Georgia, so I guess it does stay true to the South in that way. Fort Pulaski, I think it was. So I think that they did a good job, with monitoring their surroundings and making sure that there was no modern technology or nothing was showing in scene that could be considered modern technology. I thought that they did a really good job keeping it with that. I really liked the character of Abraham Lincoln. You can kind of see the beginnings of the president's secret service starting at this point when they bring in all these supposed elite people, which died off very quickly. But as far as the zombies go, I really have no issue with it. I had seen this movie once before, and then I rewatched it again for this episode. And as far as the blood goes, I think it really has to do with whether or not it gets ingested or under your skin and mixes with your own blood. So if you're just splattered in blood, it gets on your clothes or it hits your skin. As long as you don't have any open wounds and there's nothing for it to make contact with, I think you'll be fine. But you get bit or you get scratched, it breaks the skin, and it mixes with the zombie blood, then yeah, you're probably going to turn. Just the thing that really I think kind of irks me the most about this movie is the stupidity of some people when they've already seen what they're dealing with, yet they don't want to accept what's right there in front of them as empirical evidence. And even Abraham Lincoln himself fell victim to this by the end of the movie as he's caring for Mary. You would think he's already had enough experience with these zombies. He knows what they are. He knows what they can do. He's trying to explain it to everybody else. And yet he's so nonchalant about it. He falls victim to his own relaxivity, I guess.
Yeah, he forces other people to get shot in the head if they've been bitten, yet he tends to her because he'd cared for her. And, she's not feeling well. Everybody knows what's going on there.
He knows exactly what she is.
Yeah. But I guess my biggest issue now, as a zombie movie itself, it's better than a lot of the low budget zombie movies they've been cranking out for a couple of decades now. But this is a movie that could have been tightened up quite a bit. And this does seem like, as far as the acting goes, it seems like they were stuck in community play mode instead of making, movie acting mode. There is a difference.
Yeah.
And you could tell they were doing the whole ham it up kind of, you're doing it from the stage kind of acting.
I looked it up on IMDb, and it did say on IMDb that this movie was mostly filmed with a lot of local talent in Savannah. So that's probably the case.
Okay.
You might be right.
and yet the accents were horrendous.
Well, there was also the the speech patterns back in the day were a
Mhm.
bit different. Like I think the guy who has played Lincoln a number of times did nail Lincoln and how it would be, um, how he would speak if you read like his letters and things like that. People actually spoke like that. Pardon me. So trying to use the accent with a different type of speech pattern might have been more difficult for them, perhaps,
Maybe
using the
I
different
Yeah,
references.
how
and
much
stuff.
harder is it to learn a script and dialogue when it's supposed to be written somewhat historically accurate versus modern day speak?
mhm. Well, I'll be honest. I was also kind of disappointed that they didn't utilize Lincoln's background in wrestling in this movie,
I
because
know,
that would have
right?
been awesome. Like the big fight between him and the Confederate general could have just delved into
suplex
just
that.
they just get into this wrestling match.
That'd been
Oh
awesome.
yeah,
Lincoln just suplexes ass.
yeah,
I thought he was a boxer. He had the reach. He definitely
Yeah.
had the.
Yeah, he was
yeah.
like
He
6'6"
was
or
wrestling.
something.
Yeah, he was a wrestler, big time.
Oh, well, something else that I got wrong. See, I guess I can't complain about them not studying history when I didn't myself. And it was cool to see zombies in that time period with somebody that we associate, like jumping completely out of the box into
Yeah,
like, oh, okay. They don't have chainsaws. They don't have these things.
yeah.
Would you
And
guys have any tools or farming implements inside this fort? No. We have nothing at all resembling a sharp object. We have no swords. We have nothing.
Oh, they had the sword.
It's a military
The
fortress with
sword.
no weapons.
But if we sneak out and we go, I did like how they didn't let the zombies would
Take a
just
little
stand
nap.
in place unless they were alerted to their presence by noise. So
Chickens.
But that really makes you wonder how come people died when you could just as easily sneak past them without making any noise. I mean, it's so easy to survive a zombie
Which
as long as you're
People
quiet.
are loud pricks.
they don't kill them as they're walking out the door. They just let them stand right by the door. And it's
Which-
like, you have a scythe.
does beg the question. Well, on their way there to the fort, they were yakking away like nothing was wrong, but they didn't
there's no
encounter the
zombies.
zombies.
Yeah.
I don't get
Where
it.
are they?
They're not in the script, so we're fine.
We didn't have the budget to pay the extras.
Right. Exactly. So, was there a favorite part of the movie you guys kind of liked?
I liked it. Okay, first of all, I must comment on the very well manicured lawns that were going on because, as you said, it was filmed in modern day Savannah, Georgia. But as Lincoln came up, over, they were all getting ready to fight, and they're you go over here, you go over here, you go over here, and as he ascends and comes over the hill with his switchblade scythe, and he looks like Gandalf the White coming in to
Mhm.
save the day. That was my favorite part of the
You
movie.
shall not pass. Chink. Also, I think Switchblade Scythe would make a great band name.
Hell yeah.
I want one. No, I mean, obviously, I would want one anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Indeed. Friday Chaos. Did you have a favorite?
I like the part where he was slicing the tops of people's heads off with his scythe.
Nice.
The main thing I liked about the movie was the interesting blood accuracy of the zombie concept.
Hmm.
Other than that, I'm like, eh.
Roddy.
I don't know if I had a particular favorite part of the movie, although I think I would have to give some props to the cinematography itself, because I really liked some of the angles that they chose as far as shooting and some of the panoramic shots that they use for the fort and showing the surrounding area. Uh, I thought that they did a really good job with that, and rather than implying a lot of the violence, they just show it graphically and then using that. I guess it's the CGI or Adobe After Effects blood splatter that shows up on the camera. So I think that they did a pretty good job with a lot of the kill scenes. It's since they're using rude implementations of tools for weapons, you're not going to see a lot of really creative kills like you would see in some modern movies, but they did a really good job with the kill scenes that they had based on the weapons that they were using.
Yeah.
I'd wondered about that a little bit, because when they end up going, by the way, folks, since the entire military fort does not have any bladed weapons whatsoever in it, somebody's like, well, Pat Garrett actually, well, there's a plantation not far from here. We could go there. I bet they have things that can be used in fields, since that's what they do. They get there, and there's like, some person finds an axe. Somebody else finds a pickaxe for some reason. Then they have like a rake and a hoe and things, but there's like
A couple
only
of
one.
hoes.
But there's only like one or so of each thing, and some of the but they just walk through and they leave other implements behind, and it was like, but there are people back at the fort that could have. Are you telling me that on an entire plantation there are no more scythes or, like axes, machetes, any of that kind of stuff? Because as they go, like the guy with the rake, really, he's having problems trying. They reach a point where their weapons are getting stuck inside of the people because they aren't. Even though he sharpened that rake, he did, but what are you going to do? You have to abandon your weapon, and then you're screwed because you apparently can't walk faster than they can. But because these were not fast zombies.
There were a couple of runners I saw, but yeah, for the most part.
Overall, these were pretty sludgy zombies, and it was a matter of swarming, and I think probably just scaring the shit out of them. They were backing off, and they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." Which most of us, we're raised around zombies, in movies anyway, so
Yeah,
we
literally
might have
too.
a better. Yeah, we might have a slightly better chance of it than they did, because they had no idea what was going on. But yeah, the lack of proper weaponry was sad.
Yeah. I mean, you pointed out that this was a fort that didn't have any weaponry, and yet they had such a huge stockpile of gunpowder.
Yeah.
What were they going to use it for? I don't know.
Well, the cannons that they had.
Sure.
What cannons?
They hid behind a cannon. They had a
Yeah.
couple cannons around.
There were a couple of cannons that they never used.
It's on the budget. It's not on the budget.
They didn't have cannonballs. Those weren't there. So
You can
Stick
stick the
some
rakes in a
silverware
cannon.
in that thing.
Did you not see the Pirates of the Caribbean? You could just put anything in there and just shoot them.
that was okay. That's my other favorite part of the movie, when young Teddy Roosevelt is up on Lincoln's shoulders
Sniping.
behind a wall.
Like Duck
shooting his
Hunt.
own-
Right.
Yeah, and because it's what you
Left,
would use with a cannon. You'd be like
right,
left, right, like as we saw on Santa Jaws. You direct the person aiming like where they're supposed to go. It's
Right.
just like, Mr. President, left, right, Mr. President.
Right.
Just
Right.
popping them off.
That was
That
pretty
was
hilarious. Yeah. Well, okay. You want to move on to the 5-star reviews here?
Yes.
See
I
what
thought
other
we were at a
people had.
10.
What?
Oh, you're doing the 5-star reviews on Amazon. Okay,
Yeah.
yes. Or on
Oh, yeah.
IMDb.
So, first one up is Emancipate This by Reacher Creature. First off, this is a fantastic movie, funny as all hell. If you're looking for a movie that's historically accurate, then this is not it. This is just a goofy movie to have fun with. You can't take it too seriously. It's just a fun popcorn flick. So, yeah, I tend to agree with that assessment. It wouldn't necessarily mean a 5-star, mind you. But moving on to Richard A. Luck, spelled Luc. This refers to the Blu-ray version. Okay. I love when a movie lives up to its trailer, and this movie exceeds its trailer. So far, I haven't seen mention of what I think is the coolest weapon ever, the switchblade scythe, which Abe uses to dispatch zombies. Nice. 3-star, 1-star. And let's see, from Amazon customer, brand new and cheap. Came quickly. Wow. Supposed to actually be a good movie, even though title sounds like a video game. Can't wait to watch it. What? They haven't watched it? And they give it a 5-star review? Jeez. Maybe I will update when I do watch another from my what the fuck. All right. Well,
It showed up at my door, so
yay.
I'm happy.
It showed up at my neighbor's door, so I swiped it. Anyway, fine movie, Great Lincoln by William Johnson. I got to say, I wasn't expecting much when I ordered this. Cheap effects, good laugh. What I got was maybe Asylum's best movie to date. Sir, you clearly have not watched Sharktopus. Anyway, the actor playing Abe was spot on and is the gem in this B movie. It's Asylum, so expect cheap makeup, to few extras and some not so great line readings. But if you like B movies, it's really worth the time. All right. The last one I'm going to read is by Z. Ranyaf. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies definitely gives a different twist on American history, which makes it fun to watch. Bill Oberst's performance as Lincoln is outstanding, giving our 16th president a depth we've never seen before as he deals with more than just the Civil War. The supporting roles of Vale, Norman, and I'm not even going to attempt that name here, gives the film dimension. So,
I wouldn't say I had to mention, but
no, not well.
I can give lists of things that are good about the movie.
Yeah. So, I mean, that one guy was like, "Well, it arrived. I'll give it a 5-star review. I haven't seen it yet, but I like the cover."
Delivery service.
The costumes were good. The
box isn't cracked, so 5 stars.
I have a question.
Yes.
Say the switchblade scythe being the coolest weapon ever. How would you stack it up, or which do you think would be the cooler weapon, the switchblade scythe or the glaive from Kroll?
Well, switchblade scythe, at least we can define its dimensions in physics. The glaive, I don't think they really defined what it can do. He just kind of picked it up and started using it. Also, I would like to see that the switchblade scythe pit in battle with a bat'leth.
That would be interesting.
I had a variant of that one once. The glaive. The glaive. I had a variant of that at one time. Wasn't the exact one, but
Kroll was a fantasy movie, so obviously the glaive, was not necessarily, in physics accurate, but it's a fantasy movie. What are you going to do? Yeah. But the switchblade size, it's something that is, technological enough, could actually make it and make it work.
Yeah.
I have a mini one because I'm only 5'5", so.
I was waiting for somebody to say, I once had a glaive and I was using it to cut cheese with.
One time.
Just once.
So
most of the time it was a letter opener.
So now we come to
the first thing I can get my hand on.
Right. Ah, what are you doing? But Now we come to the part of the show where we give our overall opinions on this. So we're going to start with Dell. How many stars?
Okay, I'm going to, even though I dogged on it quite a bit for the history stuff, I was semi-sarcastic. I just wasn't fully awake to get the sarcasm going as well. I'm going to go with a 5 out of 10 on this one.
Okay.
Like, it amused me. It was really long, and I didn't actually care for it. But, like, the little things like the riding on President Lincoln's back and shooting things, and some of the other things like we were talking about, like Chaos mentioned about the blood accuracy, and what Ron was saying with like a lot of the implements and everything and what they did with it. I'll give it a 5.
Okay.
Which is one of the highest ratings I've given so far.
Yeah.
Oddly. So
You're softening up.
I am.
Yeah. Might be the lack of sleep though. So
That's highly possible.
yeah. Okay. Friday.
7.
7 out of 10. Okay.
Yeah. There were some really good parts about it. It just drug on.
Yeah.
It's like my main problem with the whole movie.
Yeah. It seems to be the universal thing going on. Chaos.
I'd probably have to go about 6, but the main things that got it to 6 for me was one, just that, as I said, the blood accuracy thing, where if it gets in your eyes and mouth, you're screwed anyway, just like the rest of them.
Right.
And then how they set up Lincoln's assassination.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Ron.
I'm going to Gettysburg address it at 7 out of 10 stars.
Okay.
And my brain made this weird connection where this is Abraham Lincoln versus zombies, which we call The Walking Dead, which is Andrew Lincoln versus zombies.
Okay. All right. So now we're to me. I would give it a 6, a very strong 6 out of 10. Basically, for a lot of the same reasons that it could have been tightened up to a good maybe 75, 80 minutes instead of 90 plus. And yeah, a lot of the acting itself really drug things along a bit and stretched my credulity. But overall, as far as low budget zombie movies go, this was one of the more tolerable.
Yeah.
So
Agreed.
The effects were pretty decent. And they, honestly, I would say this is the kind of movie that Dell, I could see Mr. Hanna showing the class just to see. Okay, now pick out the inaccuracies, please.
Yes, this
We
would
have
definitely be.
So,
We have
all right.
Tora.
I will say,
Class in Monty Python.
I will say that I've seen a lot of Asylum movies. Some of them are very bad. This one is actually one of the better Asylum movies that I've seen.
A lot of the Asylum movies, I'm always amused by the fact that something happens off screen, they just react, and then you're supposed to just imagine all of the special effects that you're missing out on. It's great. Like the Transformers stuff that they do, Transmorphers.
Yeah.
Jeez.
That was Lorenzo Lamas. I think it was Lorenzo Lamas. That was, I don't know, man. That's
Yeah.
It's not even Transformers. It's like
Like Renegade lives on in Transmorphers.
I guess.
Okay, so we ready to spin the wheel?
Before we spin the wheel,
Oh, yes.
Jenny and I are going to do something really quick. Because it is winter. Oh, good, you have yours. We went out and purchased. Let me get you a big screen there. Turkish delight with mixed fruit flavors. Because we got into a conversation about the Chronicles of Narnia the other night, and both of us were wondering, what the hell is Turkish delight actually like? Is it totally worth selling out your friends and your family and your country for? Even though technically his was, what did they say about it? At last, the Turkish delight was all finished, and Edmund was looking very hard at the empty box, and wishing that she would ask him whether he would like some more. Probably the Queen knew quite well what he was thinking, for she knew, though Edmund did not, that this was enchanted Turkish delight, and that anyone who had once tasted it would want to more and more of it, and would even, if they were allowed, go on eating it until they killed themselves. So this is a very sinister, yet supposedly delicious treat that we got from the Chronicles of Narnia, although it's been around in Turkey for a lot longer than that. It's just something that we got discussing, and we had to try. And so I noticed the first thing when I opened the cellophane around this, there was just like, it's like being in Cafe du Monde and getting a beignet. There was just an explosion of powdered sugar coming out.
Nice.
So we're going to look at this, and there's powdered sugar all over these packages. Oh my gosh. I don't even know if I can tell you what flavor it's going to be. It's going to be either rose, orange, or lemon, but these are little squares of powdered sugar covered.
Which color did you get?
I can't see, actually. It's so sugary.
Okay.
I can't tell what color unless, I think over towards the end yeah, I can't tell what color any of them are. So I suppose I will.
Okay.
We shall try it and see what we got.
Yeah. I think I got the lemon first.
Swoosh, swoosh.
Well, see, now I feel left out. I don't have any Turkish delight.
Sorry.
All I have is Istanbul was Constantinople running through my head.
I have kettle corn.
Yeah, I'm not the only one.
I got lemon.
Okay.
Yeah, we
And
tried our lemon.
Okay, so Turkish delight is exceptionally chewy and sticky.
Is it like toffee or licorice or something?
Starburst.
Starburst?
It's like
those
a
little orange candies.
Softer version of gummies.
Okay.
Those
Coated
little
in
orange slice shaped candies that's covered in sugar.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like that, but it's a lot more softer. Well, ours is softer and easier to chew.
So
And
the
the
grandma
lemon one
candy.
actually tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's bad. It's just a.
Maybe I'll order some when I get my Deadly Grounds coffee.
Now, this is
Yeah.
I was curious because in the movie, it kind of looked like a jelly-filled pastry kind of thing, like little bite-size. thing.
Yeah, it's powdered sugar that's around it, like when you make homemade marshmallows.
Okay.
So that's what's actually keeping it together. But different places make it different ways. They have some that put a lot of pistachios or different nuts in them. So we just went for one of the top rated one.
Okay.
Got it. So
This one tastes
But
pretty good.
the question is it good enough to sell out your family, your country, and your soul?
No.
I'm saying no on that one.
Okay.
Even if it was enchanted, I mean, it depends, I guess, on how strong your mojo is to get past that. But
No.
yeah, I wouldn't sell. I wouldn't have chosen. It's one of those things where if I was like, "What would you like?" I have a magical bottle. I can choose anything that you would like to eat in the world. I wouldn't be like, I think I want some Turkish delight.
Myself, if you would have offered me, it didn't even have to be enchanted, but if you had offered me the Cinnabon bites from Taco Bell, that's it. I'm giving everything up. Yep. Thank you.
Screw Dave.
I think Mom and I literally took one of our vacations to Laughlin just because we don't have a Cinnabon around here. And
Really?
we,
Lincoln doesn't.
not
What?
that I'm aware of,
It's like a mall staple.
but no, we haven't had Cinnabon for a while. And in the the Harris Hotel that we stay in, because we gambling fools, man. We get those cheap flights. So you spend $98 and you get two people flown out, stay 3 days or 4 days and 3 nights, and then fly back, and it's $90 for all of that. So we there was a Cinnabon in the hotel, and they would always be like, "Oh man, you need to have some extra icing on that." And it's like, no, 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 I'm good. It's already, well, but we have all this icing left and we're getting ready to close. We don't charge extra or anything. It's like, no, man, good. Oh, come on. And they give you a ladle, of extra icing on top. And so we'd been going and spending some vacation time there, and we'd go to different things. And one time I think we went just so we could eat Cinnabons and be lazy and sleep in hotel beds.
All your insulin is in your backpack just in case.
Yeah.
Got a
Sorry.
fridge full of Coke Zero and Cinnabons
Ozempic.
for a weekend.
The
Yeah.
Ozempic is. There we go. So,
So
we ready for the wheel now?
Wheel of morality.
you
Turn,
guys
turn.
are,
Wheel
you guys are
of
just
death.
surfing that.
Wheel of fish. Wheel of fish. Wheel of
All
fish.
right.
Oh, Red Snapper.
Go,
Ooh,
Drake.
very
3000.
tasty. What do we got?
Okay. Jenny, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3. And it looks as though we now have
Treat.
trick or treat.
Excellent.
With Sammy.
Yes.
Yes.
No, that's trick or treat.
No, trick. No, the Sammy Kerr character from the 1986.
Oh,
Wow.
I was thinking Little Sam, the cute
Okay.
little kid.
Okay. Yeah, there is
That's
that.
trick or treat.
That's Samwin. But no, this is the 1986 Rocksploitation classic that I watch every year. It is, yes. It stars Skippy from Family Ties, and it's great.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, you are in for a treat.
That reminds me of one I think we should probably add to the list.
Is it Rocktober or something?
No, it's called
Okay.
Rockula.
Rocket. Intriguing. Tell me more.
Do you remember the movie Summer School with Mark Harmon?
Yes.
The guy that played Chainsaw and Dave, the guy
Yeah.
that played Chainsaw and Dave and
Yeah.
Chainsaw, or Francis Grimm.
My heroes growing up, yes.
So the guy that plays Chainsaw in Summer School with Mark Harmon is the star of Rockula. He is a vampire that doesn't like to drink blood, and he has a rock band.
Okay.
It's a very inane plot, and it would be perfect for Tomb of the Terrible.
Well, honestly, Rockula, that kind of sounds like one of those direct-to-video Flintstones special.
Oh, believe me, it was.
Okay.
What's the lady's name? Tony something.
Tony Basil.
Tony
from-
Basil. Yeah, Tony Basil.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I thought. I heard of it, and I thought, is that lady who did the song Mickey in there?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So yes,
Oh,
we must
head on
have
over.
this.
Head on over to our Discord, and if you guys out there, oh my God, my teeth are stuck together.
That was Turkish Delight.
Pardon my manners. If you guys out there have movie suggestions for us, join our Discord. Hang out with us. Give us a minute to admit you once you get in, because I don't have a bot running for that yet, because I suck at bots. Or look in the links up above, down below, and please subscribe like, follow, do all those things for us. We would love that. And give us your suggestions on what you think we should watch. We would love that. If you pick
Yes.
a movie and you want to come in and we choose it and you want to join us, let us know. We'll have you on. It'll be fun. Maybe. Depends on your movie. But,
Okay, so until next time, we were supposed to have this last week. We obviously did it tonight, which means you're all free on Christmas next week. So I hope you all have a nice holiday season. Whatever you do, if you celebrate something or if you don't, just do what you do. We love you. Hope to see you again. Del, can we find you?
oh, you can find me here on Owlite on a variety of our shows. You can also find me over on Splash Pages, which is another Dorkening show. Actually, tomorrow night on Splash Pages, we are doing a live reading of 2 comics. We're doing it's they're both Hellboys. The first one is Christmas Underground, and the second one is Hellboy Krampusnacht. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll go through. We'll be reading the comic as it's being paged through on the screen, and eventually it'll be edited into something really kind of cool. But it's fun to do the live parts because we get it's that group hug kind of feeling when you all come together and you're doing something.
Right.
You can find my author page over on Amazon or on Facebook. Look for Carrie, Kari Sanders on Facebook. There's a little crow, that's me, and that has all of my links on it.
Awesome.
Yep.
So,
And that's how you find me.
Friday and Chaos, where can we find you guys?
Okay, just come to where you find me. You can find me on Friday with the Library in Blue Box, which is my main page. Friday Blues Disorganized Library is my book group. You can find me on the Owlite. You can find me on Delphine's page. You can find me on Raz's page. You can find me at Faycore. You can find me here on Well, I did say Owlite. And if you try hard enough, you may be able to find me in Texas somewhere. I'm hiding there.
All right. Ron.
You can find me with Junior here. In honor of our missing Raz tonight, you can find me at Raz's mom's house. Otherwise, you can find me on YouTube under Wolf Sensei or Wolf Dojo, or you can find me on TikTok under Wolf Sensei or Wolf Dojo. And I'm also on the Faycore and the Owlite Network Discords as well. If you really just can't find me anywhere, then just ask one of those people and they'll direct you to me.
Yeah, I'll help you
really
find
need to find me. Friday will find me. I think she's standing outside my window right now.
She will always find you. She always
Whose
finds
closet
us.
do you think we're in?
She's like the IRS, man. She's going to find you.
Right. And I am your humble servant, Uncle Necro. You can find me on the Owlite Network doing this. Also doing the Movies and Beer podcast, a couple of blogs. And since we're all showing everybody, this is Halloween Bear. Hi kids. I'm Halloween Bear.
On his chest.
Halloween Bear.
Oh,
Halloween Bear. Do Halloween Bear. Give me a hug.
That was a biohazard symbol.
I'm gonna swallow your soul.
Aww.
I couldn't see the
The
mouth.
biohazard
All was
bear.
the nose and the eyes. I thought it was a biohazard symbol.
Halloween Bear.
I have the keys to the cemeteries.
There we go.
Awesome. It's
Come find us
not-
at the cemetery.
not as fun as his cousin Syphilis Bear, but you know. So until next time, guys, I'll see you later.
Take care. Have fun. Stay new to your friends.
Stay new
Bye.
to your friends.
Bye.